Our first stops are actually not accessible to the public. We're really by special arrangement. The IDF themselves are actually taking us in. If you look at the map, the 232 just goes down along the Gaza border, and it's surrounded on both sides by yishuvim, by towns. Today, 10 years ago, you might not have ever heard of any of them. Today, unfortunately, you've heard about places like Mefalsim, Re'em, Alumin, Be'eri, Kfar Aza is one of them, and there's more. Cholit, they, our enemies. This was all very much planned, right? They came to kill. They came to kill, and they were, fortunately, far too successful. So, most of the yishuvim, most of the towns, some of the towns, right, have tried to go back to normal. There are certain towns that are they struggle to have any sense of normalcy. They're just totally destroyed. So, Be'eri, Kfar Aza, the IDF who's going to take us in, she just told me that they're trying to rebuild part of the. This wasn't true a year ago or 2 years ago. They're trying to rebuild part of Kfar Aza. I don't know exactly how it's going to look. She said because of that, we're going to have to go around some parts. I'm not sure, but she'll take us. October 7th is the bloodiest day in Jewish history since the Holocaust. Right, 1,200 plus Jews were murdered, and 250 people were taken hostage. There's no easy way to do this day. It's heavy, it's intense. Some of you have seen images that you wish you hadn't seen. If you haven't, many people have chosen not to, and they're very wise. You're going to see things today that are going to be very troubling. Very, very troubling. Very troubling. And it's what can I say? It's part of bearing witness. It's part of, observing and being part of the Jewish people. There are many people who tell me, hey, Tisha B'Av is a day of mourning. We're supposed to sit on the floor. We hear these ideas. We're supposed to cry over the destruction of the Jewish people. I can't relate to that. That was 2,000 years ago. I wasn't around when there was a temple. But that's not true anymore. Everyone here was around for October 7th. Everyone here has only heard of it. We've never actually seen it, touched it, felt it, experienced it. And today, please God, we're going to be meeting survivors and people who can share the story, and we're going to see. If you watch the videos, and you can even recognize some of the footage from the gates and those terrible moments.
Well, okay, so this is the armory of Kfar Kibbutz, which is 1.7 kilometers from Gaza. Before October 7th, they used to have Gazans come here all the time and work here, and they could never imagine something like this. 6:29 in the morning, the siren alarm goes off, and everyone thought it was just a normal drill. Everyone goes to the bomb shelter. 15 minutes later, it was going longer than expected, and they, really didn't think. After 15 minutes, it hasn't usually lasted this long, and then eventually, the 14 first responders came here. 7 of them, these guys, passed away, but they were completely overrun. And they had maps of the whole place. They had people who had intel on this whole place, and basically terrorists had free reign here until midday before IDF or any special forces could get involved. And so this was one of the first spots. So they are rebuilding. Out of the 1,200 people that were here, and not all of them were here, 64 were killed. Yeah, so that over there is Gaza, literally 1.7 kilometers away, and 17 people from 19 people from here got taken over there as hostage. Crazy story. So the house that's just here, can't look at it. Roy Eden was a photographer. He came out because he heard something happen, locked his family in the safe room, and then came out and he saw a paraglider coming in. So took a photos. You can find the photo. Maybe I'll try and put it on this video. And he realized something's wrong. He came back, walking across this crossing, and there was a paraglider on the road just here. So he goes into his house because he knew something was wrong. He goes in there and he came in and he saw his wife murdered. And now he goes to get his children. Abigail, 3-year-old, and her 2 older brothers, 6 and 9-year-olds old, comes out here with them, carrying Abigail in his arms, and he comes out and he gets shot by the terrorists. Falls here, and the 2 brothers knew something was wrong, ran back inside, end up locking themselves in the Facebook in the safe room in the cupboard, end up being on a phone call with someone that thought it was a prank, like emergency services, and on the phone for hours. And they assumed the sister died. They said, my parents just died, our sister just died. But the sister, with the father's blood on, 3-year-old, was running around here. Eventually got picked up by one of the families here, and she was saved by the family, and the family she was running away from them trying to help because he just saw her dad get murdered by someone else in the IDF uniform because they were wearing IDF uniform. Another crazy story is there's another house just over here that the Kutz family, they were found in their safe room, all completely murdered, with the father holding the wife and all the kids, 3 kids, all in the safe room, just all tightly together, just completely wiped out. But they used to even be extremely involved with the community, with they were going to do a kite festival that they did that day every year, Simcha Torah that day. Another crazy thing is this is a memorial of Sammy, and he, when 2008, was killed by a rocket here, and it was the first real thing about that, how close they are to affecting us. Reason why he's paragliding is because he was known for paragliding and throwing candies to kids and having so much simcha with the paraglider, and it's just nuts that there's so much the contrast in how much bliss that he would bring with it, and then how much destruction. People were coming across this border here as well by hang gliding, motorbikes, cars, even donkeys, and running. It's literally, it's just insane. So this is the young generation village part of the town, where kids would, when they finished school, would go here and move here for 3 years or so, rent free, and it was real vibrant. They used to have barbecues and events here all the time, and they're really simple rooms. So when the terrorists came, this was an early spot for them to come in, and they all just really came in. They went through here. One of the guys, Nathan, go see him. He was here with his girlfriend. He just got out of the army. He was a really big, nice dude here. He's starting a soccer team, helping special needs kids and everything. And when the terrorists came into his place, he was with his fiance at the time, actually. And he was hiding. It's only a small room. You can one room, and he's hiding there with his girlfriend, our fiance. And the first grenade comes in, rolled past him. Second grenade came in, didn't go off. The third grenade came in, and he saw it, and then split his second instinct. He ended up jumping on it and saving his girlfriend, fiance. And this is and she ended up hiding under his body because the terrorists would come and go inside these houses, and after they ransack and murder people, they just go and open the fridge, have beers, and just so they were so blasé, they were so happy, they was euphoric over this whole day. And she literally just hid under his body until 11, until she was managed to get rescued. But people got so they got so embedded into this town, the war was still going for a week after. They were still trying to get these 2 terrorists out for a week after still.
it's that experiencing which really changes things for us. And Bibi Netanyahu I've heard him say it many times. He says, listen, the many lessons to learn from the Holocaust and from Israel and Israeli history. A very prominent one is when your enemy says he's coming to kill you, believe him. It's very painful. The words are I almost can't repeat the words, but they're so significant. You'll find them. They're repeated by the Hamas commanders, just after October 7th, that this is the quote, this is our first October 7th. This is the first October 7th. And this is the first, but there's going to be a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth. They're saying it openly. That's what they want.
They put me at Soroka Hospital. Okay? Then Leon said to Ruslan, this is Ruslan, he said to Ruslan, I wanted to stay in Beersheba. I'm going back, but I don't want to take any more responsibility about you.
Yeah, so this is Sderot, so another little town, and this yeshiva is like in the center of it. And they also had 72 people that was killed in here. I'm not sure how many were captured. And it's crazy. Gaza, you can see over there. The amount of stories that we just heard here with people surviving. This one legend, Leon, came, saved this guy's life. He got shot in the lung. He has his own crazy story. Well, when he saved the guy's life here, he broke his cupboard door, put him on, and used the cupboard door as a stretcher to get him out. And he ended up going to the festival we're going to go to soon, and doing 3 trips of 25 people, right? Taking them all out. He saved 25 people, then drove up because he lived in the north. And when he was up there, he told his wife the next day, he's not feeling like a Hercules or anything. He told his wife the next day, he's like, oh, I need to go back and fix that guy's door. After saving his, that was his mindset, is honestly crazy. And then he came back here because he wanted to do more, and the terrorists ended up shooting him in a cop car that he stole. So it's crazy. This amount of stories of this day is nuts.
Were confined to that area because they were free to go.
The story of the police station, I say you can't make these things up. It basically lasted the entire day. I'm telling you already, I'm jumping towards the end. 26 terrorists were in here all day. When everything was finished, they took out 26 bodies of terrorists. There were 26 terrorists in the police station all day. It's a sick amount of ammunition.
Mira, maestro, echaron como una bomba. Es que luego sí que se espero que son granadas. Echaron una granada.
So this was the ambulance at Nova Festival. 18 people died here. We only found a few of the bodies because they found DNA on some of the girls' necklace, and they found their bodies fused together. There's 300 cars burnt just here, which is crazy, and 1,200 cars here, not burnt, just left in shutters. This guy drove down to go try and help. He was ambushed along the way. This was a police officer that came on his sick day to see what was happening, and was ambushed in the town that we showed the police officer station. This guy actually took people out and then ended up getting captured and got taken to Gaza and then ended up dying. Okay, and then they're like story after story. It's insane. This guy here took his 4 friends, drove him out to town, Beersheba, and he came back, got another load of people, drove out, didn't drive him as far, came back, got a last load of people, and instead of driving through the field, went along the 232 road and got ambushed. And so after saving all these people, here is a car you can see from like a terrace. They were driving around in these utes. You can see the turret mount on the top, but it's just insane.
When the Nova broke out, when the attack broke out, so there were, I don't even know the total number of people in the Nova. 1,000 people? Many people in the Nova. And they're dancing all night. And then this just total pandemonium. And people run. People try to drive. And people trying to drive out ran into problems because this road was the gauntlet, right? You pull out. If you look at the pictures, it's easy to see. If you look at the pictures of the Nova, one of the things you'll see is a traffic jam of cars that were all burnt out because to get, for 500 people, 1,000 people to try to get out of one little dirt road onto a road, it's like, how are they going to do that? So the terrorists took full advantage of that. In any case, there was a guy named Aner Shapiro, and famous guy, right? Hirsch Goldberg Polland, is that his name? Polland, and another person. I think there were. Look at the details. It's around these details, and I think they were in the same car, and at a certain point they couldn't go. They couldn't go anywhere. So they said pull over because there are terrorists on the road, and you already heard this today. Like so many people, they want to run for shelter, right? They want to be, and they figure if they're in the shelter, then they're safe because their missiles falling and right. So I've never been here, but if I'm not mistaken, this is the shelter. I'm pretty sure this is the shelter. See it again?
The pictures are also posted.
Oh, okay. This is the shelter. Now listen carefully. This is an unbelievable story. There's a guy named Aner Shapiro. This guy, Aner Shapiro, he's like 19 years old, 20 years old, right? He's been in the army. He's out on leave, okay? And terrorists show up, and they don't know who's in here, right? So they're not going to walk in. But as you already heard today, they take grenades and throw it in. So a grenade comes into the shelter. And Aner Shapiro says, "Oh, I got this. Everyone stand back. I got this." He picks up the grenade and he throws it back out at the terrorists. You have to be really, quick, daring, skilled, capable. Then this happens again. They throw in another grenade, and that picks up again. Catch it. I don't know if it, bounce. It's seconds, right? He gets it, throws it out again. This repeats itself. Another grenade comes in, picks it up, throws it out. A fourth time, a fifth time, a sixth time. A grenade comes in, and it's like he's playing a game of catch. And every time he throws it back out at the terrorist, and if it falls outside, it doesn't hurt anyone. And then, I think it's the seventh or eighth grenade. I'm not sure. 7 times. I'm not sure if the seventh didn't work or the seventh did work. Either way, the 7th or 8th time this happens, the terrorists realize, we can't beat this guy. So they pull the pin out of their grenade and open it. Pull the pin and let go of it. So it's only 3 seconds. And don't throw it until there's 1 second left. Then they throw it in, and Anna does the same thing he's been doing successfully, but there was no time on the clock, and it explodes and kills her. A 19-year-old kid.
So this is the little mushroom bar of Nova. And Nova had about 3,000 people partying here. And in the morning, it's like 6:30, they try to warn them to close down the party, turn off the music. And something was up. By 8:30, people were hiding behind the stage, and there was 9 of these refrigerators, these big ones behind me. And so they hid them up, made them like barricades. And they started hearing gunshots at about like 8:30, and grenades and everything. By 9 o'clock, the first few terrorists, or dozens of terrorists, came in here. That's when they first started coming here. And by 9 o'clock, they started coming in here. Someone came here to warn them, told them to run, like there's no one going to save you. 2 guys managed to escape and just ran. One guy with bullets whizzing past him, like stopped, hid behind a tree and looked back here. And he saw terrorists closing on this bar. And this bar had about at least 19 people in here with these terrorists that were just coming in here and just shot randomly into here and killed everyone. Looks like a cool guy. It took till 12:30 for a first load of troops to arrive, and there was just 9 guys in a car. It wasn't even official. By 2:45 was when the first military thing officially got here. So that's from 9 o'clock to midday when there was 1 person who got a car, and then another 2 hours. So they were just in this small little festival. And on top of that, there's fields like this in the middle of nowhere. There's fields like this. 364 people were just found murdered in the field, just like trying to flee the festival, and they just got caught in the middle of like nowhere to hide. So this is the yellow dumpster, the 2 yellow dumpsters. So at 8:30, when everyone was trying to leave, there was some people that's like jumped in here. 16 people jumped in here, and it was filled with garbage, and they stayed in here, like hiding under garbage. And they could hear everything outside, bullets hitting the wall. They could hear people like dying, being slaughtered, begging for lives. And they would just, yeah, they were all hiding in the festival, in this dumpster. And somehow no one came into the dumpster until almost midday. One lone terrorist came and just stood at the top and just opened fire on everyone that was just laying in here. I managed to kill nine people. So this is the main stage, and possibly the most difficult. So that probably was around 500 people dancing on the stage, and then Noah said to everyone to leave, but a lot of them didn't make it. And it's crazy just walking through here. It feels like you're like all these. Like you can imagine walking through the crowd. And the crazy thing is, like, they all look like you know, you can be friends with everyone. They all look like you just talk to them. And even you relate so much that they even like Could have been you. This is also a national park, so there were people camping here. One really hard thing to get a hold of is all of these have like QR codes on, so you can see the messages they're sending to people or the photos that they're taking, and just stuff that was happening on the day, which
If you know it, sing with me. Again. Elokai Nishama Shenatata Mi Yehorai Elokai Nishama Shenatata Mi Atavirata, Taritata, Nvatavi, Niatavisana, Nikirvi, Niatati, Nitani, Meni, Laxani, Ilati, Labo. Let's live life for them. Let's get out and live our own lives. Elokai Nishama Shenatatavi Elokai Elokai Nishama Shenatatavi